So I wanted to make 222 45-degree rip cuts in these 2 sheets of plywood. Well, why I wanted to make 222 cuts, I'll get into it in a minute. But I had to do this, but I wanted to do it the easy way. I'm always looking for the easy way. My dad always told me, work harder, not smarter. No, strike that. My dad always told me, work smarter, not harder. And so I wanted to make these 222 45-degree rip cuts. And so first thought was, okay, well, I'll take my circular saw and I will just draw a line and I'll make these cuts. Well, I found that my hand is not really as steady as it used to be. I'll just use the table saw. So I wrestled one of these sheets of plywood up onto the table saw, starting to do my rip cut. Did I mention I had to do 222 of these? This is the cabinet grade sheet of plywood. So each one of these sheets is 78 pounds, 222 times. That's not an option. So then I thought, okay, well, I'll just make use of the Swanson straight edge. This is a great, powerful tool. What you do is you just clamp it to whatever wood you're cutting. So I did half of one sheet with the Swanson straight edge. So I ride my circular saw right up against my straight edge as if it was a track saw. I don't own a track saw, I'm not made of money. That worked out great. I would make my pass, make my cut, adjust it a 1/16, and make another pass. Adjust it another 1/16, make another pass. I had to do 3 passes for each one of these grooves. Why did I need to do 3 passes for each one of these grooves? Well, how this system works is I'm using 1/8 of an inch aluminum strips in the back of each piece that I'm hanging on the board. But my saw blade is thinner than each one of these aluminum strips. So that required me to do 3 passes. 2 passes would give this nasty spine in the middle of the track that kept me from properly seating my aluminum strip. 3 passes, 222 times. Every 1.25 inches for the 48 sheet of plywood, did the math, that's 37 individual grooves. 3 passes, 37 times 3, that was 111 passes for each board. 2 sheets of plywood, 222 cuts. I'm looking for an easier way to do this. Because the straight edge, it was going well, except I had to unclamp from this side, move it over a 1/16, reclamp it, go to the far end, move it over a 1/16, reclamp it, make my cut. This is the Craig rip cut that it changed the way I was doing because I want to work smarter, not harder. So what happens is this piece comes off and your saw clamps in it. It seats in there and these tighten down on your saw. Then when that's tightened with your saw, keep in mind I had to do a 45-degree angle and make my cut. Then when the saw is in its base, then what happens is I just slide that down in its, that red line tells me exactly where that cut's gonna be. This piece rides right along the straight edge of my plywood. It's got a nice little comfortable rounded part that I could put my hand in there, ride right along the edge of the plywood like that, and I lock it down. I make my rip cut, and then when I'm done with that pass, release it. I can actually move that over 1/16 and with the saw in place, clamp it down and make another pass. Then I use the Craig rip cut the rest of the job. So much easier, so much easier. Like I said, I don't have a track saw, and I don't even know that if a track saw would be easier and quicker. Knowing that the track saw, you still end up clamping on each end. So I think the rip cut was the way to go either way. Is that the best way? For me, I think it was. Can you think of an easier way for me to do this? Drop them in the comments below because I think I'm going to do this for the rest of the shop. I'm Eddie Field with Feel Good DIY. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Oh, if you want to see the finished product and the details of my tool organization wall, click the image on your screen now. I'll see you in the next video. I'm Eddie Field with Feel Good DIY. I'm out.